Okay, today we're going to talk about the R sound, and this is a very, very common error, and I hope that today this video can help you because it's also one that's very, very difficult to correct. Or it can be very difficult to correct, so I hope that I can give you some tips today for correcting the R sound. The typical development of the R is that it kind of slowly develops and isn't fully developed sometimes until 7 or 8. So a lot of kindergartners, a lot of first graders, even into second grade, they might still have difficulty with some of the R sounds, and that's totally normal, typical development. It isn't until about third grade that I start working with students on their R sound, and sometimes if you work on it too early, it just gets them confused and they end up having more difficulty than if you would have just left it alone and let it develop typically. So the R sound is also a really common error because you can hear it a lot because it's one of the most, the sounds that comes up the most in the English language. So a typical error pattern would be a W for an R. So instead of saying rabbit, they would say wabbit, or I willy like that instead of I really like that. So substituting the W for the R. Or another common error is vowelizing the R. So it might sound like brother, sister, mother instead of brother, sister, mother. So the vowelization of the R and then the W for the R are the most common misarticulations of the R sound. So I want to talk about the 3 cues that I give for correcting the R sound. And again, it goes back to the lips, the tongue, and the teeth. So what I tell my students is with your lips, you want to put your lips back in a smile. So you want to have your lips back like this. And that's really teaching the distinction between the W, which is rounded, W, and then the R, with your lips back. So you really want to teach that distinction. So your lips are back, and then your teeth are a little bit apart. So you don't want your teeth to be together, and you don't want your mouth to be totally open. You want your teeth to be just a little bit apart. And then you want your tongue to be up and back. So it sounds like this, Now there's 2 ways to do your tongue. You can either have your tongue tip up and back, or the back of your tongue up and back, So you can kind of, sometimes I just kind of play around with the kids and see which one sounds most natural to them or feels most natural to them, because those are both normal ways to produce the R sound with your tongue. So again, your lips are back in a smile, your teeth are a little bit apart, and your tongue is up and back. And then the other thing that I just wanted to talk about briefly on this video is, as I mentioned before, the R comes up a lot in the English language, and it's one of the most reoccurrent sounds that happen. And it's because it comes up differently and it sounds different with every vowel that it's next to. So that's another way that I target the sound, is targeting every R next to each vowel that it shows up with. So it shows up with the A-er in words like air, E-er in words like ear, I-er in words like iron, O-er in words like orbit, and then ah-er in words like car. So targeting it with all of those vowels, it's a little bit different, and your mouth has to do a little bit different things. So that's one of the other factors in why it's such a difficult sound to correct. So in later videos, I'll talk about the different vowels and how to get a student to produce the different, the R sound next to the different vowels. But for now, I just wanted to target the R sound specifically with the 3 lips, tongue, and teeth. So I hope that that's helpful for you in helping your students produce that R sound.